SuperTalk.com. You'll see I got a Mississippi girl with me, except she's far from Meridian, Mississippi. We got Holly Brand. She is your former Miss Mississippi, but she is now competing on season 23 of The Voice. Go Team Kelly. And go Team Holly. Hey, Holly. Oh, man, we got a little bit of a technical difficulty here. We're going to try to connect with Holly. But if you remember, the season 23 opened up, maybe 2 weeks ago. And she was one of the first contestants to come out, the first of Mississippi to come out and compete for a spot on season 23. And she got herself 3 chair turns. And she's joining us now. Good. Hey, Holly.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, girl. You know, technology is great until it's not, and that's okay, but we got you, and that's all that matters. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Oh, I can only imagine, and I know after talking to a few contestants of The Voice here on Good Things, you've known this for a while, so you've been sitting on this really exciting news for a while. So how long have you known that you were going to be on the show?
Well, I submitted a video of myself singing, in my house last February, not thinking anything about it. I was like, nobody's going to see this. This is not going to go anywhere. Because you got to think, how many videos does The Voice get every single season, you know? And a couple months later, I got an email, sent in some more songs, did an interview, and then in July, I got the call that I was being offered a blind audition. So I have been keeping this in for well over half a year, and it has been the most difficult thing that I've ever had to do, hands down.
So I can imagine how exciting it must have been when, regardless of what happened, you're just excited to be able to share with the world your experience. But boy, you had a really cool experience. You got your 3 chair turns. You ultimately went with Team Kelly, but I love that you showed out with Mississippi with your song choice. I mean, I can't imagine of all the songs out there having to think of one for a blind audition. What led you to that one, to Mississippi Girl?
Yeah, well, I grew up singing Mississippi Girl, grew up looking up to Faith Hill and Carrie Underwood and iconic women in country music like that. But for me, picking a song for my blind audition, I mean, it's hard. You only have 90 seconds to impress the coaches, so it's definitely a difficult decision. But for me, I really connect to the lyrics of Mississippi Girl, not just because I grew up in Mississippi and am also a country artist from Mississippi, but just about, what the lyrics mean about no matter how far I make it in my career, what happens on The Voice, I'm not going to forget where I came from. I went through a period of time where I really struggled with my confidence and didn't feel like I was good enough to do something like The Voice, even though I wanted to. And when I was crowned Miss Mississippi, it wasn't the title that instilled the confidence in me. It was the people. I traveled, I think, over 32,000 miles across the state just over 1 year. And it was the people that I got to meet, the kids at the schools that I went to and all the different organizations I went to speak and to sing. Those people really lifted me up, and I had never felt more supported than I did during that year. And it's those people that really made me believe in myself that I could do something like The Voice. And of course, my family, my friends, and my team, my village, if you will, supporting me all the way and encouraging me and lifting me up. But I didn't want to forget about those people during the biggest thing that I've ever done in my life. So for me, it was kind of a tipping my hat to everybody back home in Mississippi that I remember you guys. I'm never going to forget about you. And I know that I'm here because of people back home here in Mississippi.
Well, we're rooting for you for sure, Holly, but you are no stranger to the stage and performing in front of judges, obviously making it through the Miss America organization, even going on to compete at the Miss America pageant, but being our Miss Mississippi, which was more nerve-wracking. And I know they're in different stages and phases of life, so it's apples to oranges, but stepping on the stage at Miss Mississippi to sing and then Miss America to sing and then the Voice stage to sing, which one had the most butterflies, the most nerves in that season of life?
Oh, my goodness. It depends on what day you ask me. Sometimes I say The Voice. Sometimes I say Miss America. And I think my final decision on this is that they're equally nerve-wracking, but in different ways. The Voice, I think, is more pressure added to it, especially during the blind auditions, because that moment could change your life before you step on stage. You know that this could be a game changer for you. But on the other hand, growing up singing, I kind of had the mentality of, I just get to go out there and do what I love to do. Even though I know that there's attached pressure to it, I'm the most comfortable when I'm singing on stage with a microphone in my hand. So when I was doing Miss America and Miss Mississippi, I was never nervous for talent. That was always the one phase of competition where I was cool as a cucumber and I was just excited. But, with Miss America, there's different phases of competition. You have on-stage question, you have the interview, and then you have the social impact pitch. There's a lot of things that go into winning a title like Miss Mississippi and competing at Miss America, which is very nerve-wracking. But it's also nerve-wracking at The Voice because you know that this could change your life and this could be a career-altering moment for you. But at the same time, you're also comfortable because you're just singing on stage. It's what you always do. So I think they're equally nerve-wracking, just in different ways.
Well, I would do none of them. So kudos to you for just getting on stage and anyone who chooses to get on stage and sing. But you started really young and you came prepared. I know all of America was sitting at home, even us here in Mississippi, wondering why Blake didn't turn, which I think you ended up with the one that was probably meant for you anyway. And the show's not over yet for sure. I know there's a lot of twists and turns that can sort of happen. But you brought a little mementos with him. This is his last season. You brought a photo, or you share. What did you bring for Blake to sort of show him or to offer him? Y'all have a connection outside of The Voice.
We do. I got the chance to open for Blake in concert when I was 10. And, that was really the moment that I realized I wanted to be an artist. Up until that point, I had been singing. I don't remember a time in my life where music wasn't a part of it. So up until that point, I had always been singing and loved to sing. But that was the moment that I realized, okay, this isn't just a hobby for me. This isn't just something that I love to do. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is how I want to make my living. I just want to sing. And I'll never forget that moment. And even though he didn't turn for me, to have the moment with him on stage where I actually would get to speak to him. When I met him when I was 10, I didn't say a single word because I was intimidated. How could you, talking to Blake Shelton? But to be able to just sit and just tell him, this was the moment that I realized I wanted to be an artist, and to have the chance to thank him for inspiring me, all the while it being his last season on The Voice, that's a really cool moment. And I've always said that if I ever made it on The Voice, I would be on Team Blake or Team Kelly. So I am so happy with how everything worked out. I was actually hoping that they both wouldn't turn, so I wouldn't have to make that decision. So it is all good. Just having the chance to, thank him in his last season is a cool moment that I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life.
Well, it'll be fun watching you on Team Kelly, and then we've now got Walker Wilson from Raymond on Team Blake, so I feel like there can be a little friendly, in-state rivalry there, but you both have a long road ahead of you in terms of competition. So what's next, Holly? How can Mississippi support and get behind you? Or I know they're still in the blind auditions for a couple more weeks, or what are you doing now? Are you home? Are you traveling? How can we get behind you?
Well, right now I am at home, but we do have another week of blind auditions, and I promise all of you that are listening, you're going to want to tune in because the talent this season is just unmatched. It's absolutely insane. So you don't want to miss an episode, but the next round is the battle rounds, and that begins to air on March 27th. I don't know which episode I'm going to be on, so that just means that you need to tune in for every single episode and not miss it. But if you want to keep up with me on my socials, I try to post all of the Voice content that I can and keep everyone updated as soon as I know something. So you can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Miss Holly Brand. And I'm in the process of creating a Facebook page for my music and for all the Voice content, and that will be under Holly Brand. I also have a fan page on Facebook that you can join. It's Holly Brand, the Voice fan page. Please go join there and keep up with me. I appreciate all of the support, and, it means more than you know. So thank you, everyone, for all the support and all the love that I've received since my blind audition aired.
Well, I hope you've reached out to Todd Tillman. He's another friend here of Good Things and a Meridian native and now a Voice winner, although that was Team Blake for him, because, you got a little lucky charm coming out of Meridian there for the Voice. Isn't it crazy how, the world's so big, but yet it really is just a small town like Mississippi? I mean, when you start to put it all together, for sure. All right, girl. No, it's crazy, and I hope you guys all get to connect it. I feel like one day here on Good Things, we need to have a complete Voice reunion from everybody in the state who had the opportunity.
I'm so down.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be watching. We're going to be rooting. You keep in touch, girl, and we'll be waiting. I know March 27th you said, and we'll be watching you soar. So you keep doing you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.